Hello my crochet and crafty friends, this is Travel Crochet. My name is Tracy. Welcome to another episode of what I've made in the past week, I think it is. It is not much, I have to admit. I have not been feeling great at all. I'm just, struggling at the moment. I have to be honest. My health, if you don't want to hear about this, just fast forward to what I'm showing for my makes, but this channel's about being upfront and being open and honest and talking about mental health and my health in general as well, which affects how I can crochet. So the latest update with my thyroid stuff is I kept waiting for an appointment for the biopsy because I'm up to biopsy stage, and this biopsy has to be triaged to decide the priority, I guess, of when you can have it done compared to other people who are on the list who need a biopsy done. And it appears to be a fairly specialized biopsy that not many people do, or not many services offer. You can't get it done at the hospital. You have to have it done at a radiologist where they have the ultrasound, because it's ultrasound guided. So it eventually got to the stage that I went to the radiologist, because they want you to go back to the places where you've had your previous CT scans and ultrasounds done previously, because then they've got all that previous record. Anyway, it'd been a week and I literally went back and I said to the lady, I'm not leaving this office until I get an appointment, basically, because at first I discovered the radiologist that does the triage wasn't even there because they were on holidays, on leave, and then they were back and then they still hadn't triaged it. And I said, well, how would you like to be in the position where you're told you may have cancer, but you have to wait to have this biopsy done, and then just wait your turn whenever we're ready? So I was getting very frustrated, so I refused to leave the building until I got an appointment. The earliest I can get in is the 14th of November. So by the time the 14th of November is up, this is going to have going on for, 2-3 months by now. And I said, is there anywhere else locally that does it? And they gave me a couple of names, and she said, look, they will want results of your other ultrasound and CT scan, so I'll give you a copy of that. And I read the copy of the results, and it's interesting because the doctor hadn't told me everything, because she just told me I had one cyst. The first time around it said it was 40 millimeter in size, it's on my thyroid, and the next test said that it was 60 millimeters on my thyroid. I read the results. I have multiple cysts on my thyroid, and there are various sizes, but the one that they're wanting a biopsy on is the largest, and it's taking up most of my right side of my thyroid or something like that. But I can feel, every time I record now, all I can see is this area, because I can feel it. I can literally feel it. The edge of it's there, and the other side of it is now there. And to me, that is way bigger than what it was. And the issue is that Chris is saying that in my sleep now, I'm stopping breathing, which is not great. So I've gone to 2 pillows now to try and help prevent that. But on top of this, as if you're a viewer of some time, I also suffer from PTSD and major depression and all that. So this has been in constant pain, and it is a lot of pain. It seems to radiate from my neck to the back of my head, to the top of my head, and down my shoulders. And it's a lot of pain. I don't know why it's causing that pain, but it is. And so now I'm on slow release like opiates, and then I had to just get the doctor to prescribe a quick release one for when I need it because it wasn't covering the pain, but it's also affected my mental health severely, and now I'm back on antidepressants because I ain't doing great, I have to admit. Which is affecting how much crochet I'm getting done, because when you're in pain constantly, and now the side effects of taking opiates and that, it makes you feel nauseous, I'm getting shaky, I get weak, I get dizzy, it's like, oh. So the side effects are nearly just as bad as the pain itself. So I have to admit I am struggling big time. Yeah, my mental health has taken a dive, unfortunately. So yeah, I didn't get the video out yesterday because I just couldn't do it. And then one of the days this week I went to bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I just couldn't sit up anymore. So it's not great. Anyway, we'll get to what I have actually made. So the first thing I made was I had the demi gorgon mediums. I think this is the medium size. 3/4 made before the last market, so I just finished that off. So now I have 3 because the other 2 didn't sell at market last time, but all the keyring size ones did, so I do need to get to keyring size if I can. So I finished this guy off by Just a Mum Crocheting, I think that one is. I'll have all the links in the description as always. Then when I'm not feeling great, my go-to is sea turtles, but I did sell 17 sea turtles last market, so I need them anyway. So I made this guy. So I actually used the Happy Turtle, the Fruit Turtle pattern, because I love that pattern. I love the shape, but also this part of the shell bit here. So I love the shape. And I just decided to sort of follow the watermelon pattern, but just made my own colours to match the variegated yarn, which this had come out in Spotlight for, I think it was, I saw it online for less than a week, and it is already gone. Like, it was not even a week that they were having it on their website and it's already gone. So I don't know what Spotlight's doing. And I put some pretty pink glitter eyes on there. So there was one larger sea turtle. And then I did my sort of $10 range sea turtle. So I made 2 smaller ones using that same variegated yarn. And this one is the Crochet Customs pattern, which has that nice star shape on the shell, which I really like, and it's a quick make. So I make that pattern for all my smaller size sea turtles. So 2 of those. And then this was another color scheme of that variegated yarn that lasted 1 week in Spotlight. So I made 2 of those with the yellow. And this was one other color from that variegated yarn that's gone already, and I matched it with this Maida Vera blanket yarn, which is also gone now from Spotlight. It's like, we can't win here in Australia, especially with blanket yarn. Spotlight has gone back to like 6 colors available in the blanket yarn in the Maida Vera. Got rid of all the good colours, all the browns, all the greens are gone. The reds, this colour's gone. So we're back to basics again. And that's all the blanket yarn we can get in Australia, unless we want to spend, last time I looked up burnout blanket that we can get online, I think it was $30 a skein, which I'm not going to pay. It's just ridiculous. So that was that one. And then I thought, oh, I'll take a break. Oh, and in the meantime, I made that dragon for Crochet Roulette, which wasn't a great, well, I did my best for that one anyway. So then I thought I'll make another dragon, and I made another one of the Crochet by Jenna's dragon that I did the pattern test for, but I did, this was the last colour that I got from the one that's already gone from Spotlight in the variegated. But it was funny, I was looking at it, I finished it, and I didn't do the sleepy, sad eyes across the eyes this time. And I'm looking at it and going, it looks different. And it's hard to think sometimes when the way I'm feeling. It's like, oh, what have I done? And then I didn't read it properly. It was actually, these larger horns were meant to be up here, and there was meant to be 3 of these little horns on each side of the head. And I thought, oh well, it'll stay like that. I just made up my own version. And then I realized this pattern doesn't have ears for the dragon. I'm thinking maybe that's why it looks funny. I don't know. Or maybe it looks, these are starting to look like they should be ears. I don't know. But anyway. And their tail was like that. So I got that done. And then all I've been doing the last couple of days is literally, I have made my crochet roulette rainbow coloured bird, so I have done that, so that is an achievement as well, but I'll show you that Sunday. And then all I've been doing is starting to make my mini sea turtles, but I'm just making the shells at the moment because I sold 10 of these last time, and of course 6 of those went to Turtle Lady, but the prices are going up from $5 to $8. So yeah, I literally have 5 of these shells at the moment, so I'll just gradually batch make. I'll keep making some shells. I'll make the 10 and then I'll start making the flippers and the heads and finishing those off, and then make more from there if I want to. I do have a couple of pattern tests, one for Louise from Loved Handcrafts and one from Marrie and Array, Crafting and Array as well. I will get to those. I just really have to feel well enough to concentrate, especially a pattern test, to be able to, you know, give proper feedback to them. I want to be feeling, you know, a bit better when I make those too, so I can give really good feedback if I can. So yeah, I just have to wait to, I have worse days and better days, and at the moment I'm just going through a whole heap of worse. I think it is a lot of the side effects from the opiates, just a lot of nausea, and I'm hardly eating anything at the moment. I don't feel hungry. And yeah, Chris has to say, okay, you need to eat. You need to actually eat something. So I've been trying to eat what I can, but then struggling. So yeah. And then when I went to the doctors the other day, because I have to go back to the doctors every 2 weeks, of course, because they're only allowed to give you 2 weeks worth of opiates when you're on that kind of medication. And that worries me too, because they are addictive, which I don't want. But anyway. So Chris came with me last time and was saying surely there can be, because we actually rang around all these other places in the area. There is no one else. There's a lot of places that don't do this biopsy at all. Everyone else said you're better off staying where you are because they've done the original tests, or we wouldn't get you in any earlier anyway. Otherwise we'd probably have to start looking at Brisbane, and I just don't have the strength or motivation to start ringing around anymore, so we'll just leave it at the 14th of November. But then the doctor said be ready for when I actually have the biopsy, unless the results come back that it is actually cancer. If it's just benign, but I'll eventually need to have this out obviously because it's taking up my neck space, it could be another 3 or 4 months before I actually see a specialist. Not have the operation, but actually to get in to see the specialist. But it might be quicker if it is cancer. So yay. So this is going to be a long process, and I said to her, I think I ended up crying in there because it's just getting to me, and that's when she put me back on antidepressants, which I hadn't been on for 3.5, nearly 4 years. So yeah, that's great. But you got to do what you got to do to keep your mental health good. Chris is keeping a real close eye on me. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's not a great long video at the moment. Oh, I did find this the other day. when we were still in the caravan, I made a whole heap of turtle shells, like mini turtle shells in the velvet yarn. And that's when I was still doing the My Friendly Red Fox pattern. So I might see, I don't have a whole heap of this velvet yarn left, but I might see if I've got a colour that I could do the head and flippers, because I have quite a few made in various colours here. What is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there'll be 7 extra turtles. So I'll see if I can find some variegated yarn. And the other thing I found was I had started making one of Robin from Notting Hook Crochet's what was he called? It was the giraffe pattern, but she called him something else. I've had a blank. So I've got that started, so I probably should try and finish one of those if I can get around to it. Apart from that, I now have 5 people booked in for the retreat next year. So that leaves 4 positions available to go. So if you are interested in the retreat, yeah, only 4 spots left. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Chris was just reminding me of some stuff to try and say, because I'm forgetting a lot at the moment. Yeah, so we actually have 3 booked in from the US, which is amazing, to come to the retreat. And someone is so keen, she's actually paid in full for the retreat, other than the tours, because the tour prices aren't finalised by the actual tour operators until April 2026. So we can't do anything about the tour prices just yet. But yeah, 5 already booked in, so that's fantastic. Well, Kim was staying with me, so we've actually got 6, 7 with me. So 4 spaces left. So if you are interested, we're starting to get closer to being booked out. So send me an email at travelcrochetau@gmail.com. Oh God, my brain. If you are interested, I know some people were saying that they were still saving up to see if they could save up for the deposit. Just let me know if you are doing that, just so I know how many are still interested in possibly booking in. And the other note I had to say was welcome to Anne Smith, who is our newest Traveller member, and joined yesterday. And she actually had sent me an email with her crochet roulette entry and informed me, because it had not yet come up even on YouTube. It seems to take about 2 days, I think, from when someone joins to it actually comes up on the system. So yeah, welcome Anne to the Travellers. I have already sent Anne, because she had sent me an email, my copy of all my patterns so far. So yeah, we are up to 12 Travellers now, which is really exciting. So I think once we get to about 20 members, that's when I'll be able to start doing member-only YouTube lives. And also once Crochet Roulette is finished, I'll start doing lives again on a Sunday, just in general, for everyone to see. Yeah, because I like to do those on a Sunday, but yeah, we ended up making Crochet Roulette makes due and that video coming out Sunday, and that takes me about at least 5 hours per video to do that. And when I'm feeling like I am, that is a process. So like today, I've already started writing down entries that people have entered already and start that process, because it takes a long time. So anyway, that'll be it for today. Not a great deal, I'm afraid. I'm trying to crochet to try and help get how I feel off my mind, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, thank you for joining me. thank you everyone for all your support, and we shall see you back here Sunday with Crochet Roulette, and there's only 2 more weeks to go after this week, so wow, that's gone so fast. Anyway, thanks guys, we'll see you later. Bye.